So let's come back to the point you're trying to make, which is to convince people like me and people watching this show that this 2 billion number is not something to be frightened of. It should be embraced because it's a smallish copper project, right? Which is, it doesn't scare the big boys and it doesn't scare the people who finance the big boys. So we should, you're trying to advance things for us. I get it. From the last conversation, people should watch the last conversation around business plan and strategy for delivering it. But we should not be concerned because you're not concerned and you've got a team on board who are taking the approach of it's a good sized project and we're going to deliver a shovel ready project. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And you know, I mean, one of the things I think is illustrative, and this is one of the things that I walk through certainly with some investors, is to look. I mean, the other thing we're looking to do, of course, with a project of this size is to bring in a big partner. So, you know, let's walk through the numbers on that. So you've got a $2.5 billion capital cost, but let's say you bring in a partner for sort of 50-50. So now I've got a $1.25 billion capital cost. Okay, but now I'm going to put on 60% debt or something like that. Now, in terms of the equity component that I need to raise, I'm now talking 500 million, 400 million. That's the equity component that I need to raise for this project. And, you know, by the time I've got a 50% partner, I've got the thing shovel ready. What's my market cap? It's not going to be 200 million. It's going to be far north of that. And so that's a very, very reasonable. And I mean, there's a number of examples out there where people have raised that sort of equity. So it's not a big equity chunk. And the thing that's interesting about a $2.5 billion project is that you can go through that math with a 50% partner and come up with a reasonable amount of equity that needs to be raised and, you know, that potential dilution to the shareholder. If you start with a $5 billion project, you know, you get into like these, you know, pretty questionable sort of numbers that need to be raised. So very, very doable about us. I mean, so yeah, and I mean, we haven't talked about that, but I mean, of course, we're always looking to partner on this project. You know, I've been pretty open with our investors and you know, various interviews on that. You know, lots of conversations on that front, and you know, with 21 million ounces of gold, you know, maybe it's a gold partner.
How are your next door neighbors?
They've been quiet this year, actually. Yeah. No, Newmont was quiet this year, but last year they had 6 drills going up there. So
I was just checking. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd ask. So you're saying you've got big boy problems, not small company problems. So now I appreciate you've run through the maths, but you know, therein also lies the problem. The moment you announce you've got a 50% partner, your problems are solved. They go away, it seems, from what you were saying. So when do you deliver that 50% partner? What have you got to do? What do you feel you've got to do to get that 50% partner?
Yeah, I mean, and you know, let me be very, very clear. I mean, I'm illustrating this 50-50 partnership just to illustrate what a potential funding avenue would look like on this. Okay. I mean, I think that we're certainly are pursuing a business transaction with someone that makes sense. I mean, is it 50-50? Is it a toehold? Is it a buyout? You know, I mean, you know, the way this works is, you know, you have these conversations and then, you know, you sort of see what makes sense and different partners, different things make sense. We're in an earlier stage right now. You know, we'll see how things move forward. But I mean, you know, we continue to pursue that. And, you know, obviously that would be sort of transformative in terms of the share price and in terms of the way that the project moves forward. But I mean, again, you know, we'll continue to move this forward on our own. And, you know, if that's something that happens after it's shovel ready, when we're trying to put this thing together in terms of what is the capital, you know, who's going to come up with all the capital? That's one point where it happens. It happens at this point. It happens all the way along, right?